Hello, 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 NoZoupForYou here, and it's been a little while, or at least it feels like it's been a little while. I just got back from vacation, so I'm super tan, I'm energized. Actually, I'm quite excited because I got to see a lot of cool battleships. I saw the USS Yorktown and the USS LaFay, an Allen Sumner class destroyer that should be making its way to the game very soon. And I saw the USS North Carolina, and that's after going on a cruise and being in the Bahamas and Myrtle Beach and Charleston and a bunch of other cool stuff. But you don't want to know about that. I mean, you probably don't care about that, do you? Things that you do care about, there's a winner for the Alabama, and that was Hunter Steele. I wasn't able to announce him as the winner because obviously, as I just stated, I was on vacation. So congratulations, Hunter Steele. He already has his Alabama. We have a Kutuzov that I'm giving away. That is ending fairly soon, so we'll have a winner for that as well. And after the Kutuzov contest ends, we're going to have another contest. Don't know what ship I'm going to give away. I'm leaning towards the Enterprise, though, so that might be the ship that I give. We don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see here this coming weekend. I don't know how I feel yet, so we'll find out soon. But anyhow, what you're watching right now is obviously HMS Nelson gameplay, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the Nelson. I was able to play the Nelson quite a bit before I went on vacation, albeit it was on a laptop at my parents' house. My wife and I stopped there to drop the dog off. Nelson had just been given to us. That was my only chance to play it, so I spent the night playing the game before driving to Myrtle the next morning. Getting used to the Nelson, trying to figure her out. Since it was on my crappy laptop, I had to transfer the gameplay via replay over to my good computer and then slap it all together so I could present it to you. And here it is. This is the HMS Nelson. Kind of reminds me of the Izumo. Kind of plays similar to the Izumo in a way. And you all are probably wondering if it's worth spending the free XP on her, because right now that is the rumor. The all but certain rumor that the Nelson is going to be given to us by way of free XP, which I don't have an issue with. I think that's pretty cool. I'm all about ships that can be given to us via free XP. Now, we've also had British battleships out for a while. I've really only played the Conqueror, and honestly, I decided that I'm going to wait on telling you about these ships until I play them through after they go live. And the reason for that is just with all the changes that have been going on in the past, I don't feel comfortable right now, and that also because I haven't really played them a lot. So when the British battleships come out, I am going to grind through them and give you more in-depth reviews and previews and what I think about them. I think that's just overall better for everyone else. I know there's a lot of gameplay out right now regarding them. You know, I enjoyed the Conqueror. A lot of people enjoyed the Conqueror, did great things in it with its 11.1 kilometer concealment. If I'm recalling that correctly, I did as well. You know, we've had some community contributors like Kami Samurai. I think he was averaging about 180,000 damage per round in it. Just completely insane. But I've been out of the loop since I've been on vacation, and I'm assuming they're going to get changed somehow. I don't know how, though. So that's why I'm reluctant to do anything on British battleships right now. But the HMS Nelson is going out the way it is, and I do feel confident talking about this ship. So let's talk about what I think the pros and cons of the Nelson are. The biggest pro that the Nelson have is its repair party consumable is absolutely insane. I mean, 40% of the ship's hit points per charge can be restored. I mean, absolutely insane. Fires, it will whittle away half your hit points, but you'll get all of it back. I mean, it's crazy seeing your ship go from wounded and dying to completely healthy. So, obviously, a very good pro for this ship. Has pretty good armor protection against American AP bombs. Sigma's decent as well. So your turrets that are lined up on the front of your ship, your bow forward turrets, are actually, they're pretty accurate. I mean, not the most accurate, but they are pretty accurate, especially for a battleship of its tier. So no major complaints about that right there. I don't feel like I have trouble getting all guns online either when I'm fully angled. And as you can see here, you know, this row of ships that I'm firing at, I can train pretty much all 9 guns on these ships. So despite being bow forward, I know the Izumo, I think it was the middle gun was kind of tricky. This is not the case. Your guns actually have pretty good angles. You've got pretty short fuse timers on your AP shells. This leads to penetrations and not over penetrations, so that's another good thing. And the thing about this ship, which I did not catch up on the very beginning, the thing that I did not catch on to, that I'm going to tell you right now you need to play this ship as, and from what I'm hearing, the majority of the British line, it's a flamethrower. It is an absolute flamethrower. I'm using AP. This entire round, I didn't use HE a single time, and I had a good round here. I had a decent damage round. But had I been using HE, it would have been a lot better. And the thing about this ship is you have a 46% chance of fire per shell, which is absolutely insane. Yes, you are a tinderbox yourself, but you have the ability to light other ships on fire. And this ship is absolutely annoying. And I wasn't able to get the replay, I wasn't able to send it, but when I started using HE on this ship and switching back and forth, it's disgusting. This ship can be absolutely disgusting. But she also has some cons. So let's talk about those real quick. Let's go over the cons of the Nelson. She is a floating citadel. No bones about it. I'm not going to lie to you here. She is going to take damage. She's going to take a lot of damage. Upper tier ships are going to punch holes in her. And unfortunately, if you take citadel damage, that's not going to repair the way regular damage is. Yeah, you can repair fire and flooding damage all day long, but citadel damage, you're not going to be able to repair that as well. So keep that in mind. Don't give up your citadels, even though if you're going up against tier 9 battleships, you're going to have issues because they're going to be able to overmatch your bow, and you are going to take some citadel hits. So your survivability decreases as you go up in tier. That's one thing to keep in mind. That citadel is over the waterline, and it's just out there saying, hey, come hit me. Come hit me. I'm here for you. So that is probably the biggest con about her. While I said that her penetration is pretty good, the AP, it's somewhat lackluster. It's not the best in the world. You know, think Warspite, think a ship like that. Also, her guns aren't the fastest. She turns like a slug. Her anti-aircraft isn't that great either. Her surface detection is also kind of large at 15.3, and that's base. I think I've got her down to right around, I don't know, 12 or 13 after you put captains and everything else on. So she's not the most concealable ship in the world. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not great. So those are the major pros and cons about the Nelson. Now, what do I think overall about her? First, you know, how do I think she looks? She's very unique. It's just a weird design for Battleship, and you know, I think the Izumo, I want to say, is a little more graceful than the Nelson. Just because she seems a little more spread out, she's a little larger. But Nelson reminds me of a midget, or I'm sorry, a dwarf. I think that's the correct term. Sorry, Tyrion Lannister. She reminds me of a dwarf or something. She's got this large front area, and her back area is just really, really smushed in, and just it looks like she needs to be several hundred yards longer. And her conning tower, as with you know, Warspite, they're very unique looking as well. Looks kind of like Slave 1 or something to that effect. So I finally got rid of that Ibuki. It's really, really bugging me. And had I used my HE, I probably could have taken it out sooner because of that insane fire chance. Just light it on fire, switch back to AP, which is a great strategy for this ship. So yeah, look-wise, this ship, you either love her or you hate her. She's kind of an ugly duckling. She is unique, though. Now, play-wise, how do I feel when I play in the Nelson? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. This ship It requires a little bit of skill. It is not the easiest ship to play. It took me several rounds to figure her out using AP. It took me several rounds. She can do some serious damage to other ships. You're going to see here in a second as I take on this Bismarck at low health. And you saw fighting that Ibuki. I was down against the ropes. And I came back because of that heal. You cannot count out the Nelson. If you're fighting against the Nelson, make sure you kill it. Make sure you kill it. Don't leave it alive. Because if you leave it alive, it's going to hide and it's going to regen most of its hit points. And it's going to come back from the dead like a zombie. I mean, this thing is the Walking Dead incarnate. But despite that, she's still a little tough to play. I think this ship needs a more seasoned hand to take advantage of it. Someone who is good with the Dunkirk and is very familiar with how to play the Dunkirk will probably like this ship a lot. She's not the fastest. I've already covered the fact that her armor is not the best. You know, I took a nice chunk off of that Bismarck right there. You know, 15,000 hit points in one salvo. You know, this ship hits hard. It hits very hard for the tier that it is. So I think that is something to like about the Nelson. Something to like about it a lot. But again, if I'm going to recommend her to you, you know, if it was for purchase, I would say, you know, maybe the beginner out there might not want to purchase this ship. A more veteran player, a more seasoned hand is needed for this ship just because of the armor and the intricacy of you really have to determine who you want to attack and when, and you want to spread those HE fires, and you know, you need to decide who you want to shoot your AP at. I mean, this ship is not just to go out there, play and perform type of ship, and there's another good chunk I took off of it. I mean, the ship can do some serious damage. I'm up to 121,000 damage, which, you know, not a spectacular game by any stretch, but still a decent round. And far better than I was expecting going up against some tier 9 ships. Now, in her own tier, yeah, the ship operates great. Up tiered, it's a little tougher though. So my overall recommendation, and you can say I take out the Bismarck here, and I'm going to go down shortly here. My overall recommendation, free XP if it's around 375,000, like that's the what they think it's going to be, I would say go for it. Anyhow, guys, you know, those are my thoughts on the Nelson. Thanks for watching. We've got a ship contest coming up soon, and I will catch you all later.